Irish. We've spoken a few times in the past, but I don't expect you to remember. We had a long conversation. I remember one time, maybe a year ago, on 17 meters, and I think you were at an alternative location. I think it was your holiday home, but you're 5'8", 5'9", and that lovely audio, Steve. So back she goes. ZL1ACE ON80I. Over.
Oh, fantastic. Hey, look, that's funny you say that, because I remember before you said we'd spoken on 17 metres, I thought, I worked this guy, I worked you, John, down at Mystic and QD8, beside the seaside, beside the sea. And it was amazing. And I think I just put my rotary dipole up to this crazy height, around 70 feet. And I thought, by God, this is unbelievable. I should have put this up long ago. It was the first night I had it up, and I worked several of you guys. I had a pile up. And I thought, this is amazing. Well, I got dressed to kill the next night, got myself all ready, had my dinner early, got out there, and there wasn't a single bit of skip the next night. It was just a coincidence, John, over.
Yeah, Roger, well, it's like life. It's just the way it goes. And I heard you talking to your pals about, people being ungrateful. We really have lots to be thankful for. And I remember saying to my my children, they're not children anymore, but if you're not happy here, go to a small village in Africa. Over.
You got it. They were very, very lucky. You know, John, I grew up with my mum in a state house, just in the government house. Me, my brother, and my sister. My brother took off when he was 15 years old to the bottom of the South Island, and he's done very, very well in life. He's worked hard, got married at a young age, had children at a young age, but by geez, he's done very, very well. But my mother used to always say, we haven't much money, but we do see life. My mum come out from the UK, maybe she was 18 or 19, met my dad in New Zealand, and had the three of us, the three kids, and my dad took off soon after I was born. I think I was too much for him when he saw me took off, over.
Oh, I can't believe that, but just out of curiosity, did you finally keep contact with him, over?
Well, it's a long story. He went to Australia, and I was 3 months when he left. I remember as a young kid he come back one time, I remember just vaguely. But then he came back when I was around 23 years old, and I picked him up at the airport, and we had a funny trip. I brought him back down to my hometown. It was a 4-hour trip, and it was a funny trip. But to cut a long story short, he had a heart attack, or had a stroke in Australia. He parted with his new wife over there, and my sister brought him back. He was quite thing on one side. He couldn't, but by geez, he fought well, and he come back. He used to work with me in an orchard. We used to be picking avocados and mandarins. We worked side by side, and I used to build aerials and whatnot. He'd be there holding the aluminium tubing for me and whatnot. And in the end, he went and boarded with my mother. He went back to my mother and just boarded his friends. And he passed away there. He had a heart attack when he was 63. And, we buried him here in the local cemetery right in my town. He's about a 3-minute drive from my house. And my mother is buried side by side. She always used to say the Catholic Church doesn't recognize divorce. And when she passed, I used to say, do you want to be buried? You want to be buried next to Dad? And she did. She wanted to be buried, and that's where they are. Even though they were divorced and separated all those years, they lay in the cemetery here, side by side, over.
Yeah, that's a terrific story. It sounds like a Netflix movie with all the bumps and shakes of life. Very good. Well, just you were talking about making antennas. I remember it was in the heyday of the 11-meter band in '79, and I was living near Dublin. And I used to go around making the quarter wave antennas, and I was using those BBC antennas. We had them in Ireland to receive the BBC. They were BBC Yagis, and people had moved over to cable TV, and the BBC Yagis were there for the taking. And I used to go around making the quarter waves. So just one driven element for the inner core was 8'6", and then I had three bits of wire 8'6" on the braid, and everyone was happy. Over.
I used to do the same. Did you have them? Yeah, you had them vertical, quarter wave verticals. I guess you're talking. I used to do the same. I made so many quarter wave groupies for everyone, and I just insulated. I gave a bit of galvanized pipe, insulated. I put some PVC pipe so the whip wasn't touching the pipe, and put the center to the whip, have an adjustable tip to get the SWR. And then I'd drill a couple of holes, one through one way, one through the other, and thread the 18-foot wire through, so you got 9 foot or whatever it was either side. And put the braid to those 4 radials, put an insulator on, and used them also for the guy rope. So, the old quarter wave ground planes were fantastic. But yeah, that was good. You made good use of the old BBC antennas over.
Yeah, Roger, was very good. And another thing to tell you, Steve, I have been to ZL, and I've been from Cape Reinga all the way to Stewart Island and many places in between. Over.
I think you may have told me that too, John. So yeah, you probably see more of New Zealand than I have. Now I would have worked you second to last. Do you have a paper log, or do you have a computer log? I've got a paper log, but it's very good. I could go through, because when I'm at the cabin, I write cabin next to in the line, and I do see some back in January, but I think it was after January. Do you have any, maybe some in March. I'm just trying to see when I did that 17-meter antenna. Do you have any date over?
Yeah, Roger, I'm looking at it now. It was, I believe it was April, and believe it or not, Steve, it was the 1st of April, over.
Oh, that's typical. That's typical of you and I, isn't it? So I'm just bringing. Hey, I'm looking. Well, I'll look a few there. I'm just trying to find it. 1st of April. A big lot. Got a whole page there. So where are you? Where are you hiding? I wouldn't have had my 2 echoes, mic 3. Oh, my eyes are going up and down. Might look for your name. Might be easy going up the line with a name. I don't know. I can't. Well, wait a minute. Let me see. It might be on the 2nd, maybe, from me. Nick, Echo India 4 India Bravo. Which trying to see which call sign you might have been. Which call sign? You under your Irish call sign?
Yeah, Roger, and it would have been, no, I wasn't on the Irish call sign, and I do know Nick. Now, I think I've spoken to him once or twice, but he's a great DXer. That would have been about 8 o'clock UTC, over.
Oh, I'm looking. I've got papers all over. I'm making a big mess here, John. Yeah, did you say you weren't under your Irish call sign? You weren't under a... No, that's EA3AKP, John. Germany 3 India November Yankee in Cambridge. All on John ON8E. Oh, there it is. Yeah, ON8EI. 18153. You were 5 and 8. You gave me 5 and 8. Belgium 3 years ago. Well, I've got Belgium 3 years ago. I've written Moxon Hermes 580 watts and an ACOM 1200. Over.
Yeah, that would have been. That's I have that station in the shack, but today I'm on the Annan. But that is the I think it's just the date is a little bit wrong. Over.
I got the first of April. So I found it, but I was getting thrown off of the Oscar November 8. So that's what I've got. The 1st of April 24, 18153. I was down at the cabin. I wrote the cabin in the what does 3 years ago mean? Belgium, three years ago. Maybe you moved there 3 years ago. I've written 3 years ago for some reason. Over.
Yeah, maybe that was the last time that I spoke to you. Let me just see what it says. Yeah, it was 3 years ago because I worked you twice in 21. One in October and one in February. Over.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm just going to add the word spoke 3 years ago. So, I didn't know what that spoke. I just had 3 years ago. So there you go. How many's like 580 watts? You're very precise with that with your ACOM 1200. So. You had me worried for a minute. I thought you'd caught me with my pants down and I hadn't logged it, but there it is. And I kind of remember it. It was very exciting. It must be a hell of a pile-up because I've done a whole page and there's 25 lines to a page. And I've done some on the previous page. I had a big night over.
Yeah, Roger on that. Okay, well, just one more thing, and I'm sure there's a few people in Europe that want to call you, so I don't want to totally monopolize you. Yeah, Ron, did you know ZL4 Radio Mike Fox, over?
I did indeed, yes. Ron passed away, didn't he? So, very sad. He wasn't that old either. He got, I can't remember exactly what it was, but I do have the details. I got an email from a friend with all the details, but that was very sad. Great DXer, over.
Yeah, Roger. Yeah, well, I think it was something to do with the lungs, and in the end, he couldn't speak too much. But I don't know. I had 60 or 70 contacts with him, and he was always great. You know, he'd come up on 40 meters, and he gave everyone a good shake of the dice. But you wouldn't want to get on the wrong side of him, over.
Oh, look, yeah, he wouldn't take. He wouldn't hardly let you in. He would firmly tell you, look, I'm not letting you in. I'm working DX and I don't want to lose my frequency. So I'm sorry, but you're not coming in. He'd tell you straight. He was a straight shooter. And I'll tell you another very good operator down the South Island too, and I hear him quite often, is Willem. I can't think of Willem. Is it ZL3 Charlie Hotel Echo or something? Willem's another one. He's still going, over.
Yeah, Roger, and of course there's also what's his name? And I should know what is it? ZL3OZ, over.
Yeah, Oscar Zulu. That's right. Is it Dave? Now he's not in the South Island. Oh, yes he is. I can't think of his call, but I know him. He's not another Ron, is he? Oscar Zulu. Anyway. And another big boy now, an interesting page. If you're bored, go and look up ZL3 Sugar Victor. ZL3 Sugar Victor Gary. And he's in the broadcasting business and whatnot. But he's got this, I think it's 2,100 foot of wire across a big valley. But he's got a lot of videos on there, John. A lot of videos on his QRZ page. By God, they're so interesting. You want to see his homemade linear that he built in this big toolbox, over?
Yeah, Roger, and also the way that he runs the place both on solar and also on water power, over?
Absolutely, yeah, you know who I'm talking about. And he was telling me he couldn't solve this switching problem. He had a switching problem when the water used to flood, and he had a pump or something down the bottom, and it had to be turned off, but he couldn't work out. And there's a video on how he did it, and it was very simple. I think he put a little can or something when the water went in, washed it a bit, and he pulled the switch off. But, oh, gee, he's a character. What a signal. That guy bangs me 60 over 9 on 80 meters some evenings.
Yeah, well, he is, and I can tell you from my side, he is the biggest signal out of Belgium, and he was, bigger than Ron. Over.
Wow, yeah, it's amazing, these wire antennas. But have you seen, I don't know if you really noticed, but have a look at his oil-cooled balance. It's up in the tree. It's up in the big pine tree, and it's one of those big transformers off a power pole, over.
Yeah, Roger. Well, if you have a look on YouTube, there's another guy, and I can never remember his call sign. I think he's in Auckland, Rowley, and he went down to visit him, over.
Oh, Rowley. Rowley does the movies. Rowley goes around New Zealand and does movies on everybody's shacks, and it's great. Rowley does a good job. There's some interesting characters. I don't have an outstanding station or anything, but I do have a very, very unusual way of turning my antenna by means of a steering wheel and a car differential. I do have a cut-down car differential that rotates my tower or my mast, over.
Yeah, Roger, you certainly do. No, that's tremendous. Well, I'll tell you just one final story, because I'm sure there's a few guys in Europe chomping at the bit. But I mentioned to Rowley, did you ever think of going to see Ron? And then Rowley said to Ron that I had suggested it, and I was in Ron's bad books for a day, over.
Oh well, I'm glad he done some great videos. Hey, with Ron, apparently he was on the air for a final time, and apparently he was very, very emotional, very sad for all those concerned. But he did go on air, and he said goodbye to everybody on the air. And I don't know if you were there when he did it or if you heard of it. And he did thank everybody, told everyone this will be my final transmission. And he thanked everyone for all the good contacts. And apparently it was very, very touching and very emotional. Can you imagine doing that? What a man, John, over.
Yeah, totally right. I wondered, did anyone make a recording of a video? But it was kind of sad, because if you think he had done a lovely job on that OptiBeam, and for the first time that I had heard him, he was active on 10 right through till 20, and I remember his secret frequency, and I'm trying to remember, it was like 14320, over.
Oh, okay. I don't think I heard him so much on a lovely signal. And to us here in the world, they get you guys far later than what we were. They'd be chatting, giving out. Yes, I couldn't even hear the people he was talking. I could hear a little whisper in the background. He's handing out 59 pluses, and he was a character in his own right. Okay, mate, I'm not going to stick around. It was never my frequency. It was John's, ZL2 United Oscar in Wellington, and he handed it over. So good to hear you, John. Nice to hear you again. And I'll be going back to my cabin after the 25th, after Christmas Day. We sneak down a day or two after that, and we go there for 2 or 3 weeks and enjoy the fishing, and we take all the grandkids. It's quite a lovely spot we've got down there. I've got a lot of cabins set up there now, and so it's a lot of fun with all the family. Take care, mate. All the best. Oscar November 8 Echo India. Thank you so much for calling. ZL1 Alpha Charlie Echo, over.
Yeah, Roger, and that's Steve. Well, thank you very much for coming back to my call. A real pleasure and a privilege speaking with you. So we'll talk another day, and maybe from your alternative location. ZL1ACE ON80I 73's from Belgium, Steve, over.
Yeah, thank you, John. And you can see a couple of pictures. It's a little bit different. I don't know if the 17-meter antenna, but there is a couple of pictures on QRZ.com. You can see how close and how beautiful it is we are to the ocean there. I've got a new radio shack and everything now down there. It's so nice. I bought a big L-shaped cabin with 2 rooms and a kitchen, and So it freed up a little cabin that was in the way. So I had an old caravan, pushed that to one side, just using it for storage now. My wife wants to dispose of it, but I'm just an old Scrooge. I'll just use it for storage, and I was able to get a nice new cabin for my radio shack, which is really lovely. So I don't have to worry about water leaks or anything anymore. Hey mate, all the best, and I hear, I can't think of his name in Tardiphone, I know him well. O-M-8-E-I, ZL1 Alpha Charlie Echo. All the very, very best for the festive season, John.
Yeah, bye-bye, Steve. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
ZL1ACE, GW3, use the Destiny Cardiff.
Okay, GW3UZ. Now, is it S for Sierra or F? And I've gone blank. We talk all the time, but lovely to hear you. I know exactly who you are. You're the guy that makes all the radios and all the bits and pieces, over.
Yeah, you got it. I can't remember your name, but I know we've worked a few times. His name is Jeff, Juliet Echo Fox. And it's S for sugar at the end there, S for sugar at the end there, but nice to look. It's not probably over 5'8", 5'7", 5'8", truthfully, a good 5'8", sometimes. And nice to say hello to you. I wasn't sure whether it was your frequency or the Oscar November station frequency, but anyway, nice to say hello to you there. And I'm told if I can remember the name, but the name is Jeff from the QDH Cardiff, you know that.